if I may. As you know well, for 2 years Beijing had Canberra in the diplomatic deep freeze, and since the new Australian government took office in May, lines of communication have been reopening in different ways. It did seem to me that communications were never interrupted to quite the same degree between Beijing and Delhi, even in your most difficult periods when there were bloody clashes between your two militaries. Can you give us, I know you're very diplomatic, but can you, given that Australia is going through a transition period in our relationship with China, what would be your advice to Australia about how you re-establish a stable, productive relationship with a country that is so different from our own?
You know, I am, especially after I became foreign minister, I'm very careful about giving advice. I'm even more careful about giving advice publicly. What I can share with you is that we've had 2.5 very difficult years in our relationship with China, which has included the first bloodshed we've had on the border after 40 years. And where we actually lost 20 soldiers. But our endeavor, my endeavor, has been to keep the communication lines going. In fact, the morning after that, I called up my counterpart Wang Yi and urged him to ensure that there are no escalatory moves or complicating moves on the Chinese side. So for me, diplomacy is about communication. You know, it's not just in relationship to China, even in relationship to your earlier set of comments about Ukraine. You know, if diplomats do not communicate with each other, then what kind of diplomacy do they do? So I really feel, shutting down, talking, burning bridges, and I say this as a general principle. I would not, recommend it to anybody. There can be very testing times. I mean, we have another neighbor with whom we have a very difficult relationship, but